On May 18th, 2013, I woke up in the middle of the night and saw that I had a voicemail from my brother Zuriel. Alarmed by the timing of the call, I listened to it right away. It was a chilling message. His monotone voice gave way to his disheartened state. By the time you get this message, you will probably have heard the news from someone else. I just wanted to let you know that I love you and I'm sorry. I thought that I could be different, but I guess I just can't. He was wrong. I hadn't heard the news. But in some sense, I didn't need to. Zuriel had been released from prison a few months prior after serving 20 years on his sentence. He was out, but on intensive supervised release. The transition from prison to a halfway house and the high demands of his parole was a difficult transition to say the least. Over half his life had been spent inside the DOC. The mentalities that helped him survive in there were the same mentalities that entangled him on the outside. I thought that I could be different, but I guess I can't. Those words of his replayed in my mind all night. I barely slept. I was sad. I heard the disappointment in his voice. I imagined what he was thinking and feeling. I recognized that it takes a certain vulnerability to hope that things can be different. And there's often an accompanying fear that maybe things won't be. When you move from just hoping to actually taking action towards that change, the stakes are even higher. And when an obstacle seems to confirm the fear that things won't or can't be different, it's a lot to grapple with. This was the night that a fight was birthed within me to wage war on the lie that we are stuck in patterns and places and ways, void of hope for change. It is this same fight that causes my heart to rejoice when someone is accepted into cross-purpose. May we never grow tired of starting over or helping others to do the same. Our hope is always in renewal and resurrection. My name is Schumann, and I am the Cross Purpose Admissions Coordinator and the Providence Bible Church Admissions Assistant. When we met last, we were in the heat of admissions for the first class of 2017. This was my first go at an admissions cycle. I like to call it round one. Feel free to follow along with the handout. This Uprise class started on January 23rd. We had 57 completed interviews with a total of 37 accepted leaders. 5 were pending, meaning that they were given action steps to complete before they could be accepted, and 15 were declined or encouraged to apply at a later date. I conducted 13 of those interviews and attended 8 information sessions where I received applications and scheduled applicants for their one-on-one interview. In total, we received and processed 99 applications. In my first admissions round, I felt excited, but in a lot of ways it was also overwhelming. Our goal was to accept 50 leaders, and we fell short. I quickly learned the tension that resides within admissions. We need to meet numbers goals, and yet it is also our job to not let everybody in the door. If someone doesn't appear to have the grit, motivation, or readiness to embark on this journey, it is our job to identify that. When it was all said and done and we didn't meet those numbers, I was discouraged. I felt like our team had given our all, and yet I didn't give myself the permission to fully celebrate what we did accomplish because the numbers weren't there. Reflecting back, I see that there's a definite need to evaluate what changes we can make to help reach those goals, but I also want to fight to celebrate because we don't work with mere numbers. We have the honor of walking with unique, talented, and dynamic individuals as they face the fear and vulnerability of change head on, and that is always worth celebrating. May our disappointments in ourselves and others lead us to hope for and work for change, rather than lead us to distance ourselves. Round 2 was the admission cycle for the Upstream Impact class that started April 3rd. For this class, we had 66 completed interviews, resulting in 50 accepted leaders, 2 pending, and 14 who were declined or encouraged to apply at a later date. I conducted 12 of those interviews and attended 10 information sessions. 7 of those were on-site, 3 of those were off-site at halfway houses. In total, we received and processed 107 applications. When this cycle began, it felt daunting. I was borrowing stress from the future as I anticipated the long hours and stress of meeting members, making decisions, and keeping all the interview schedules and documents organized. I was talking with a friend, and they graciously encouraged me to figure out what I had to do to gain perspective and realign the way I was thinking about this admission cycle. That's when I began obsessing over the 40 Days of Prayer book. All of the images and prayers included in this PowerPoint are from this book. I found that these little prayers were just what I needed to ground my heart. This one in particular really grounded me during this season. May the urgency with which we approach our work never become anxiety. The world is not ours to save. In a lot of ways, this should have been a very stressful admissions cycle. Our numbers were slow in the beginning. We had fewer people helping with interviews, and Elisa was out of town for a portion of it. As I meditated on this prayer and asked the Lord to show me how to work with urgency without taking on the anxiety and burdens that are not mine to carry, I found myself in a much healthier emotional state from the previous cycle. In this cycle, we also implemented Salesforce. This is definitely a step in the right direction to help track and maintain where each person is in the process. But it has also been difficult for me to learn all the details of this new system, and definitely a process as we work out all the kinks. With Salesforce, we moved to electronically viewing all applications and all of the documents obtained at the interviews, which means lots and lots of scanning and uploading files. This added several steps to the processing of applications. At this time, I did not have a good system for tracking where the application was in paper form and on Salesforce, which led to a lot of additional paperwork at the end of the cycle. I'm still learning and growing in this process, but it is definitely improving. Round 3 is the admissions cycle we are currently in for the Uprise class that will start June 19th. Currently, we have completed 14 interviews, and we have 8 leaders accepted, 5 are pending, and 1 has been declined. So far, I have conducted 5 interviews. We have 14 plus interviews scheduled over the next 2 weeks, and with another information session tomorrow, that number will increase. If you recall from my last report, it is the personal connections of seeing and talking with the individuals who apply that motivates me when I am lost in the paperwork of processing applications. While information sessions, conducting interviews, and the moments I get to interact with applicants are my favorite parts of my role, a good portion of my role is to do the behind-the-scenes work so that interviews can happen. I'm continually striving to find purpose and joy in the more mundane and tedious tasks. May we have the courage to believe that everything we do matters. In addition to my role as the admissions coordinator, I am also the administrative assistant for Providence Bible Church. In this role, I help prepare for Sunday morning services through scheduling prayer, scripture, and testimony of the word. I also maintain and send out announcements each week and coordinate verbal announcements the first Sunday of each month. On Sunday mornings, I go over the service schedules with all who are participating in the service, and I also track service times and ensure everybody is out of the building at the end of the morning. In addition to my weekly responsibilities, I also help with projects and events as they come up. This spring, I oversaw our Community Partner Appreciation Day, where we gifted community partners with a love bomb. I coordinated setup and food for the leadership meeting, oversaw Providence's baby dedication, and planned and coordinated the neighborhood Easter celebration, brunch, decorations, and Easter egg hunt. Between admissions and the administrative role with PDC, I find that I'm continually trying to find a good rhythm to balance the two. May we have the vision to see this day and the work that comes with it as a gift. It takes an incredible amount of courage to embark on a journey of change. I spoke with my brother yesterday, and he reminded me how imperative hope is. Hope is what drives us to keep going, one foot in front of the other each day, believing something more is ahead. It is an honor to have the opportunity to usher people into a hope-filled journey through admissions and to witness leaders' strength and perseverance as they move into training camp and beyond. As we collectively fight the lie that we are stuck and cannot change, together, may we believe that newness is possible.